Happy Thursday, folks. Sorry we're a little late. Kelly and I were having some fun, doing some other fun Barstool content together. Your favorite, well, again, don't know if it's your favorite, but it's two blondes that have.
I mean, if you're here,
you're here.
Actually, there was just 4 blondes on. That's what made that so crazy. Because somebody said the other day, they're like, "Do you have to be blonde to work at Barstool?" And I'm like, "No." And then I started looking around, I'm like, "Yes."
It helps. We need Tico to get blonde for a minute. I'm sure she could rock some blonde hair. But right, the blue looks really good on her. But I think Tico, we have Keegs, who's redhead. I mean, there's some, but mostly blonde. But Kelly, how was your week? We got some people going in the comments. Please tell me that the Chargers are the right side tonight. Ugh. Unfortunately, I think Kelly and I are going to disagree with you on that.
This is tough, Megan. I'm actually going to open up the Barstool Sportsbook. I am so grossly unprepared for today's show. I had everything laid out. We were going to kill today's show. I got a phone working, but I cannot log into all of my apps, Twitter being one of them on my phone. So I had it open my desktop. We got a DM from KFC saying, "Hey, do you ladies want to come on?" And then I get a text. Like, I'm literally in between shows. And he's like, "Yeah, come on for Friday pints." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I have to say yes, of course." And so let me do that. And we had so much fun that I am so grossly unprepared now. Look, this line for the Thursday night game, I know we're supposed to talk about it last. I'm going to talk about it right now.
It doesn't matter. We can go whatever order we want. It's our show.
There you go. Chiefs -3. When it was Chiefs -3 a couple of days ago, I thought it was the right side. Went to 3.5. Now we're back down to 3 -120. This is where I get a little difficult in pricing and what makes me a little apprehensive. 3 -120 is a little too steep for me to be betting the Chiefs. I don't think I really want to back the Chargers here. This is a Chiefs team that we've seen over the last several weeks really start to come into form, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Remember, I actually, Chiefs fans, you guys should be very happy because it wasn't until I absolutely slaughtered Sorensen and him being the worst defensive back next to Kevin King that he actually now has been playing his ass off. So you guys are welcome. Kind of sucks for me because I don't get to be right. But that tells me that this whole Chiefs defense is playing much better ball. While the Chargers, I do still think this is a team that's going to make the playoffs. That's one of my bets from the beginning of the year. Herbert has done a great job, right? And I think that he's going to continue to do a really good job. My problem is here with a Chiefs team that is finally hitting that pinnacle that we know that they are. And what are we going to see from Herbert, right? So 19 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions in his last 7 games in AFC West, right? He has done such a good job. But I don't know if I want to step in front of the Chiefs team. So I'm not going to say the Chargers are the right side. I made the game 4, which in theory means I should bet the Chiefs -3. I'm not laying the 120. I'm going to stay away from tonight's game. There is so many more games in the NFL that I like for this weekend, and we'll go over those tomorrow. So, Megan, you got a great number on the Chiefs. You laid 3 -108 earlier in the week.
Yeah, that was. I love the Chiefs off top. I loved them last week as well. As I said, I felt like, and as you said, felt like they were coming into form. That defense was actually performing. Like we talked about how shitty the defense was for so long, and now all of a sudden it's like they woke up and they're ready to play some football. I like them this week. Again, you don't want to step in front of them. I don't want to step in front of them. The Chargers, we've talked about them multiple times to where it's like I don't know. No matter what side I take of the Chargers, it always seems to be the wrong side. This Chiefs team, they're and plus AFC West is up for grabs. Like this screams Chiefs to me. Chargers already beat the Chiefs earlier in the season. I don't think that they beat them a second time. I don't use the L word, but if I were to, I love the Chiefs this week, and it's almost scary how much I went from avoiding the Chiefs to all of a sudden like blowing the Chiefs this week. Like I love them. So with all that said, this is a blowout Chiefs all the way. I said blow in Chiefs, and this guy says blow out. There we go. It works. And yeah, Jackson. As long as Jackson Mahomes isn't there.
I hope Jackson Mahomes is going to have to go into hiding. He got absolutely buried by that restaurant in Kansas City. That's why you don't get to act like a little entitled asshole when you're not the guy. Like your brother's the guy.
You are not that guy, sir. Like that's
but your brother doesn't even act that way. From what I understand, his brother, I mean, I'm from Kansas. I hear all sorts of shit all the time coming out of Kansas City. And what I hear is his brother's a great guy, treats everybody with respect. His fiance, maybe not. I don't know much about her. Other than that, like, who are you? Like, you think you're cool on TikTok? I don't get it. As far as the total goes on this game, Megan, I actually was going to bet the under. I looked at this and I said, oh, okay, here we go. Here's one of those primetime unders, 53.5. Eek, Chiefs. Chiefs giving up a ton of points, 65 points in their last 6 games. And it makes me very, very, very apprehensive.
They are on a
here.
6-game win streak too. So
yeah. Oh, listen, they've been crushing. They've covered 4 in a row. They've covered 7 of their last 8 against the Chargers. The Chargers have held Kansas City to 24 points or less in the last 3 games, including 4 of the last 5.
Play?
I want to back the under here, and I might. We'll see if there's some money that comes in on the under. This is just a game where I don't even care if I watch it. Like, I have friends in town. I want to go have a nice dinner, have a good bottle of wine, get ready,
I'm excited
mentally prepare myself for what is going to be an amazing Sunday.
Also, I just want to brag on myself because I haven't had a week like last week all season. I swapped my NFL card last week, including the Rams money line, which Kelly and I were both. I don't know if you ended up playing the money line or not, but I mean, we were both on the Rams. So everyone got beanies and they got some extra cash. And it was actually nice because I texted you and I said, Ramsey's out. Why hasn't the line moved? And you said, you tell me. And I was like, all right, let's ride, bitch. And
I did add so I had the Rams in 8 teasers. I basically did a round robin with a bunch of teasers, and then I added them to every single teaser spot for this week. The Dolphins, the Rams, who else did I add? I don't even have my notebook in here. That's how fucked up I am today, Megan. My notebook's still sitting on the counter from earlier when I was previewing my notes, shoving my face.
I was doing the exact same thing before KFC texted me. I was in there and I was like, then I see DMs. I'm like,
I actually thought, I was like, normally I brush my teeth before we do the show, and I'm like, or any show, and I'm like, oh great, I probably have food in my teeth on the show that a million people are going to watch.
I would definitely tell you if you had food in your teeth. I would tell you, hey, you have shit in your mouth. Okay, so we've already covered Thursday night football. There you go, guys. Kelly made the line 4. She's not sure if she's actually backing the Chiefs, though she thinks she should, since that was her line. I am all over the Chiefs. If I could get inside of the Chiefs, I would be there. That's how on I am with the Chiefs. So talked about that. We got some.
Wait, time out. Do you have Arizona Bowl merch on your head?
Yeah, I got it in yesterday, and so yours should be coming.
Are you sure? Because I feel like Megan gets all the merch, and then I bitch to Jack, and I'm like, Jack, why do the merch girls hate me? He's like, they don't. You just have to ask for it.
I think they might hate me because I'm always like, hello, may I please have a hat for the Arizona Bowl?
Hello, ma'am or sir. Yeah. I would kindly appreciate if you would send me down this shirt.
Yeah, no, I really, really like this hat, though. These hats are sick. I feel like everyone should go buy them. So there's a close-up of the hats. They're I don't want to show my ugly hair, but they're snapbacks. So they're fitting of all big-ass heads, small-ass heads, domes everywhere. They fit. But yes, the Arizona Bowl merch. It's going to be amazing. Kelly and I are going to be there. Yeah, the Chippewas versus the Broncos. I'll say they're the horses.
They're the horses.
I thought
yes, they're just the Boise State horses.
Boise State male horses. There we go. Okay, so let's talk about, on that note, some more bowl games. First up, we have the Bahama Bowl, which is tomorrow. That's Middle Tennessee State and Toledo. So just to let all of y'all know, preface this, I have not personally played any of these games yet. I have some leans. I take that back. I played the same one Kelly played, and I had forgotten. I went back, and I think I might have done that maybe unresponsibly after a couple of drinks, but I'm not supposed to say that, so that's why I didn't remember, blah, blah, blah. Y'all forget I even said that, Men in Black. Okay, Bahama Bowl. You have Toledo now laying 11. Look, the Rockets have won their last 3 by double digits. Their running back during those 3 games has been a dog. He produced like 8 touchdowns. Seem like the better team on both sides of the ball, but I'm not going to lie. I do not know much about Middle Tennessee State, nor how they've played this year. Obviously, they've played well enough to make it to a bowl. But if I had to lean one way, which I mean, it was at 10.5 this morning. It's at 11. I mean, I lean Toledo just because of how well they have been playing. I mean, clearing teams by double digits their last 3 tells me that they should be able to do it once more. Yes, head coach Jags heads. Yes, he did get fired. That's Urban Meyer. So I lean Toledo. I lean Toledo minus the 11. Also, did you see Casey's stat that Urban Meyer has won more natties than he has NFL games? How
Isn't that crazy? I think I might have retweeted it. I can't remember.
Silly ridiculous. But what do you make of this bowl game, the Bahama Bowl, Kelly?
So just like Megan, I'll tell you guys what I actually played and what my leans are. I've only played one bowl game that is this weekend thus far, unless I get some crazy information. That's probably going to stay put. So this is a classic reverse line movement type game, right? Everybody's betting Middle Tennessee State. Why? Because the MAC has been absolute hot garbage in bowl games for years. Everybody knows that. That's now common knowledge. I actually was just trying to find, speaking of Twitter, I was actually just trying to find the chart that my buddy Ralph put out. And that's because he has how teams have actually done in the bowl games for the last few years, instead of letting there just be like common misconceptions. And I had said yesterday to my buddy, I was like, man, I feel like the Pac-12 has really sucked up in bowl games, and they have. But here's the MAC. The MAC is 4-4 as a favorite, 5-6-1 as a dog, just 9-11 to the under. So there is no proof that the MAC just sucks. But everybody's betting Middle Tennessee State, and the line is going up. So that's something to consider. I think if you like Toledo, you might be a little too late to the party. You should have just laid the touchdown, because that's apparently what the Shark guys did.
It opened as a touchdown?
Yeah.
Gotten betting all the way up to 11. Wow.
So really that's what I mean. I think it's kind of a point where now I'm just not going to touch it. At some point in time, you have to start looking back at Middle Tennessee State. This is just a complete and utter stay away game for me. These early bowl games, I rarely get involved in, and it sucks because I'm in all these really fun bowl pools that I wish started like basically Christmas and after.
I agree. As I said, I have not personally played any of these. I have leans, but again, I don't know if kids are opting out. I don't know if the COVID's going around fucking everywhere right now. So I've just kind of pumped my brakes as far as playing these yet. And up next we have the Cure Bowl. We have Coastal Carolina and Northern Illinois, and I can guarantee you Coastal Carolina did not start their year trying to play in the fucking Cure Bowl, okay? However, they're there. You have Grayson McCall. It's Grayson, right? Yeah, Grayson McCall. He says that he wants to win this game for his seniors. The line is at 10.5. I lean Northern Illinois, though. I think that Northern Illinois is a scrappy squad. I don't think they really expected to be here. I think they're getting a little disrespected. I just don't think that I don't think this should be a 10.5 point game. I think that Northern Illinois can hang. I think Coastal wins, but I don't think they cover. What do you think, Kel?
Well, the problem with Coastal is that they just don't cover. And that's because, as you mentioned, Megan, they started the season in the top 25, right? They had higher aspirations than going to the Cure Bowl. You nailed it, right? Then they lose the Sun Belt Championship game. And of course, that's in my kitchen right there on the note sheet that I was going to read about when teams, it's just, they get really frustrated, right? When they don't win their championship game. So this is kind of my synopsis on here. I lean Coastal. I'm going to pass just because they don't cover, and it is infuriating, and it is double digits here. You're right. Northern Illinois, scrappy underdog here. But again, those MAC teams, I think aren't going to get a lot of love in this place. I could see where a lot of people want to play Coastal. But again, as a double-digit favorite, they've covered one of those games this year. And that, to me, just says, I'm going to hard pass here. I don't even know if I'm going to watch this one.
Yeah, I was all in on Coastal in the beginning of the year. I really thought that they were going to be a wagon. I mean, they have an 11-win season, but, I mean, they didn't hit the mark like I thought they would. I mean, and it sucks because they are a good, solid team, but when everyone has all of these high expectations, no one really gives a fuck if you're at the Cure Bowl, right? So next we got the Boca Bowl. Just sounds fun.
Boca Raton, yeah.
App State, Western Kentucky. And look, App State, what do? Seems like they win bowl games. 6-0 straight up. Last few bowl games. But you know what? Bailey Zappi, that's his name. Zappi, is it Zap or Zappy? I told you those E's at the end always really confuse me.
Whether it's silent or not, yeah, that's a good question.
I never know whether I should add it. dude is a beast. I'm not gonna lie, I could see a Western Kentucky upset here. I'm not playing it right now. I haven't played it. Look, he's thrown 56 touchdowns on the fucking season. That's pretty impressive. I think I might lean Western Kentucky. Not playing it yet. If I have the balls enough, might take them on the money line. I don't know. The App State team did beat my UL team, but that was way earlier in the year. And that's, I had taken them against Texas. I think it took UL a second to really get their wheels moving here. And I don't know if App State's wheels are still moving. I'm kind of interested in the Hilltoppers here. What about you, Kel?
Yeah, it's Hilltoppers or pass for me. I was just talking out of my ass because I was on the wrong game because, of course, I don't have my notes because I'm a jackass. I blame Kevin for this one. That being said, Sun Belt Championship game, App State loses to ULL. When you lose your championship game, let's put it this way. You were just talking about what the expectations at the beginning of the season were. App State, that was their expectations. They lost the Sun Belt Championship game. That right there is a negative going into a bowl game. The stat is if they lost their championship game by a touchdown or more, what are they in their bowl game? 0-14 against the spread. Western Kentucky looks like it's the side. I will say this. I made App State a 3.5-point favorite here. But then you've got Western Kentucky as a dog. They've covered 3 of their last 4. They are number 2 in the country in yards per game, 528.5 yards per game. This is an offensive powerhouse. 43 points per game on average. Something's got to give here. And I think if you like Western Kentucky, you like the over. If you like App State, you like the under because App State covered 6 of their last 8 to the under. So one of their last 4 and their last 5. Look, this is a dead under type defensive team. So it kind of just depends. If you like it, I think it might be worth a little fun correlated parlay like you can do at the Barstool Sportsbook.
Patrick Fry was right. That was my bad. App State did not beat UL earlier in the year. My brain is just a little mixed up when trying to keep all of these games in order.
ULL only lost to the lovely Texas Longhorns,
yes,
Megan.
That was my bad. My B. I was thinking, previous season. My B. I will reel that one back in. Next up, we got Fresno State and UTEP. Let me go see the line on that. I had the Barstool Sportsbook pulled up, but I pulled it down so I can see if I was right or not because I don't like to be wrong. So let me get back to
last
that.
I saw was 13.5, but
that's what I thought I saw too, but I didn't want to be wrong.
11.5. So money's coming in on UTEP here.
That's okay. So that's what I was leaning UTEP. I think Fresno State won't have their quarterback and they don't have a coach, or their coach had been let go, or he's leaving for a different program. I need to go double check on that since I've already been wrong once today, but hate to be wrong twice. But that's the story of my life. But look, the Miners have played tough all year long. I've loved to play both of these teams, whether Fresno State or the Miners. I think, what would it say? It's 13.5. 13. No, 10.5. No. Where did it go? 11.5. There we go. I would lean UTEP here. I just with the QB issue with the coach, if I am right about that not being there. UTEP, again, scrappy team that has covered pretty well throughout the season, who have I've really benefited betting on. I'm going to lean UTEP here. What do you like, Kel?
Now I'm looking. Did Jeff Tedford, is that what his name is? Did he leave?
I feel like I might have read something, but I could have, again, put it in with, again, I've literally read so many things this morning. My brain could just.
Yep, you're right. University of Washington. Good call, Megan.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't too sure. I said, I don't want to be wrong again. But yeah, so look, Fresno State, they have been a great team, as I said, to bet on, but with the quarterback leaving, with the coach gone, that could get everybody up. But I mean, I don't know, as Kelly likes to say, how the backup drop off is, what quantifies it. But I lean the Miners here.
I did lean the Miners. I've bashed Dana Dimmel, their head coach, since he was the defensive coordinator at Kansas State. And there's shown some moments of greatness, right? This is a really tough place to recruit. It's really tough to do what he's doing out there in the middle of fucking nowhere, but that's just what it is. And UTEP, their defense, by all means. I bragged about their defense when they played UTSA, and guess what? I look like a complete and utter jackass, but They still are number 29th in the country in yards per game allowed. The problem is they haven't played anybody, Megan. Their strength of schedule is garbage. So
yeah, that's what worries me. It's still
to see how they're going to match up against Fresno State, who's been tremendous on the road, and I think this to me is a complete and utter stay away game because you're right. Does Fresno State care to play UTEP? Probably not. Their head coach is leaving, and I need to actually see. The more you start to look at this stuff, and we can talk about it when we get to the ULL game, because I do think it's important in regards to how much of the coaching staff is leaving with, right? Like, look at Brian Kelly with LSU, where almost all of his original coaching staff stayed in South Bend.
Shout out Miles Brennan. You're coming back, baby. We love you. We're so excited to have you back. I texted him as soon as I saw the news. I said, yes! I was really
excited. Need something to be happy for right now.
Give me something. Also, Brian Kelly's son followed me today, so I feel like we're on the right path.
Okay, so I wasn't going to tell you that because I didn't want to talk about it on the show. He's been following me for like a while, and I didn't notice it. And somebody else texted me. They're like, did you know Brian Kelly's kid follows you? I'm like, oh, great. Here I am, like, making fun of him and retweeting stuff to Megan. He's like a little operative hiding behind Twitter.
Him and the daughter and the son, I feel like, are definitely trying to, like, play their cards. So, look, I will commend them and Brian Kelly on this. After the whole me and my family thing, he has played into it, and honestly, it's worked in his favor. Like, him doing the goofy dancing with Howard, like, yeah.
How does that work? I look at it and I'm like, that is awkward.
Right, it is, but like that's why I had retweeted the dancing video from him from Notre Dame. He's an old white guy who's just like
he can't. He's like me. He just can't dance. He can't even clap on beat.
Guy, right? Like he's not a Coach O. He's not, but like that.
He's actually probably the opposite of Coach O. I don't think he's much of a player's coach from what I've heard, and that's okay. Not everybody needs to be a player's coach, but then you've got to have player coordinators, right?
Right.
Point blank period. Then you've got to have somebody that the players want to go to, that they have it. You can be put on a pedestal. You can be.
That's why we lost one of our top recruits to fucking Alabama. But look, it's okay. We're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. That's what I just keep telling myself. But look, Mr. Kelly, son or father, I'd like to meet you so I can have a real feel for how you are. I would like to meet
Megan's like, hey honey, I'm gonna go on a date with Brian Kelly's kid. Don't worry, just pure business.
Pure business. I just got to see really what this is about. I'm trying to see if we're snagging any new recruits so I can tweet out "Hold that tiger." I miss that so much. But anyway, let's go back to the bowls. We got the Mormon Bowl. I mean, BYU and UAB.
UAB is not the Mormon Bowl.
JK. That's what I have written down here.
I bet you do.
I have Independence Bowl, BYU/UAB. Mormons are disciplined. So.
Oh.
So, look again. I love. There's the Dragons, right? So I know they're.
Remember, they didn't even have a football team like 4 years ago.
That's what I was just about to say. They were going to just demolish that team like 3 years ago, and now look, they've had like 3 winning seasons. Like, congratulations. But I would. What's the line on this? I would.
It's a touchdown. Total 54.5.
My dog's about to throw up. We'll take care of that later. Oh, sorry guys.
We're never gonna be allowed to do a show with Kevin again right before Money Shots. Like, Jack is gonna text us and be like, "You guys are such shit shows." Just the end.
So the Mormon Bowl was Taysom Hill versus Zach Wilson last weekend. That
was the actual one.
Silly.
Yes.
And yes, I'm sorry, guys. Again, I have a kid home with COVID, or not with COVID, but because of tracing, and then my dog who's elderly. Who I thought we were going to die last week, but he's good. He's all good. He's just
kicking. He's doing fine.
Yeah, he's just confused. But I would say, respectfully, I would lay the touchdown with the Mormons. As I said, more disciplined. Feel like they're going to want to finish their season out on a high with a win. It could be completely wrong. As I said, this is the lean. I have not played anything except for my Cajuns, which again I didn't. Whenever you text me about that, I had no idea that I bet them. But that's the beauty.
Megan, do you think the number 13 team in the country really gives a shit about playing UAB in the Independence Bowl?
I don't know, but I feel like, as I said, they're disciplined. They should feel like there's just some schools like anytime an army or navy or air force, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Listen, we know those academies are always
they
disciplined.
shouldn't
They're
care,
grown men.
but they have to care because it's been fucking ingrained in them, and I feel like that might be the case for BYU, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's hard for me because I love those dogs, right? And I
Yeah.
was getting ready to text Jack, like, hey, look, I didn't find 3 dogs for this weekend. I actually like 2 favorites. We're gonna see here. But if I do release a video, I'm gonna spend some more time on it this afternoon. UAB will be one of those money line dogs. They've covered 4 straight. They've covered 3 straight as a dog. They've been tremendous on the road, 6-1 against the spread on the home away from home this year. My problem is they've been outgained several times, even though they've gotten the cover. That's why I'm afraid that they can't win this game. This is like a total BYU going to like a Coastal Carolina where they just don't care, right? Because of the team that they're playing. And then, are they able to squeak out a win or not? I like the +7 here. I was kind of hoping we got to see a 7.5. I really was, but that's just not been the case. I've been shocked. The line just sitting steady, and even at the Barstool Sportsbook, the +7 is juiced. So it's kind of an interesting handicap here. I'll let you guys know. I'll tweet it out if I end up on the Blazers.
I'm going to end up taking BYU simply because of Bike Mibby's comment. BYU will soak in this opportunity. Are you familiar with soaking or jump humping?
You guys, I mean, yes, unfortunately, I do know what that is. I don't want to know why I know, but I think somebody brought it up one time on a golf course, like when I was caddying back in the day, and now I know what soaking is forever. So thank you for the reminder.
No problem. BYU will soak in this opportunity. God, I love a good pun. Thank you, Bike Mibby. Next, we have Liberty, Eastern Michigan, and this is the Lending Tree Bowl. That sucks. I would hate to play in a bowl with such a bad name. Like that just
what more, Megan? You don't need a mortgage.
Like
college kids really care about mortgages.
Someone goes, "What is it?" Someone tell me. Just Google it. You'll figure it out. It looks like Malik Willis is going to play for Liberty.
Okay. That's good news for them.
Yeah, dude's a beast. You have Liberty laying at 9.5. Haven't paid a whole lot of attention to Eastern Michigan, but they do allow a hell of a lot of rushing yards. Not sure what Malik's going to do here. I would probably say I would lay it with Liberty at 9.5 or not play it at all. But I haven't really looked into it as much as I probably should have before this show. So I would assume I would go with Liberty. Again, solid coaching, solid quarterback. Eastern Michigan, don't know if they have either one of those. So
look, I could see why you like Liberty, but my problem is I can't lay points with the team that doesn't cover. They have just been atrocious against the spread for a better part of the season. The last 6 games are 1-5 against the spread. I think they got a little too big for their ATS britches. So for me,
I started Ole Miss. I feel like that Ole Miss game, they just started going.
Yeah, and then it just like crashed and burned from there. I put them in the 3-team parlay, and it was all she wrote. So sorry, Liberty fans, that'd be my fault. But yeah, look, I look at this, and it's probably a stay away game. It's not either team I really want to get involved in.
Yeah, that's how I feel about like 95% of these games. So that's again why
Megan, you and I talk about all the time. Like you follow the SEC, I follow the Big 12, I follow the other Power 5 conferences. Being in Vegas all those years, I follow the Mountain West, and that's really about it. Like I if I need information on the MAC, I make a phone call. You know what I mean? Like I don't need like those type of programs. It's unfortunate, but that's what these early bowl games are. A lot of teams that if you put me on the dozen trivia right now and said, Kelly, name a player on Eastern Michigan, my brain would be like, I don't know. Like that's the problem. When you don't follow up throughout the season with these types of teams, it just is not something that I'm looking forward to in bowl season. It sucks because I'm in a freaking bowl pool that I have to pick every single game, either against the spread or the total. And it's like, eek.
Well, good thing we do this show so you can start breaking them down. this game looks like it's actually going to be a little bit more entertaining. We have, is it the La Bowl or the LA Bowl? Am I stupid?
The Jim Kimmel LA Bowl.
Oh,
Woof.
LA Bowl. Okay. I was going to call it the La Bowl now because that's
Okay, I
just,
like that.
it's
I
fun.
mean, Lower Alabama, Louisiana. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things that it could stand for.
You got Oregon State and the Utah State, and you got Oregon State laying a titty and a half. I don't know what to make of this game, if I'm going to be completely honest. I feel like Utah State could definitely cover. I know that they are better on their home turf with all their crazy fans and whatnot. But Oregon State, man, the Beavers have been a covering machine. I remember when we were in Chicago, I think that might have been your first parlay of the year that you hit. They came in big through. It might have been the second one. I don't know. I could be wrong. But they came through for you fucking big that weekend. And I feel like you owe it to them to lay 7.5.
Yeah, Megan, I don't, though. I love this Beavers team. I really, really do. And as I said with UAB, I considered trying to make a case for Utah to win outright. I think the Aggies can keep it close, but this is a team that hasn't performed well in the bowls over the years. So it's really hard for me to want to back them. What Utah State wants to do, they've got to stop them from running the ball. Oregon State is beatable if they can't run the football. And that's my question here. I'm looking at this Utah State defense going, I don't know, because Oregon State does a lot of things really well, right? This team was projected to win like 4 games, right? I bet they're over the season win total. I had them in a few different parlays throughout the year. You mentioned the one where they won in the Coliseum. Is this the pinnacle for Oregon State season? Maybe. I'd love to get like some inside information in their locker room, because this is where you want to know, are they excited to be there? And that's kind of how I have to figure this out, because this Utah State offense is going to be firing on all cylinders. If Oregon State is going to be excited to be there, they're going to control that tempo of the game, run the ball down their throat. Utah State's going to score. Oregon State's going to just kill that clock, right? And when you have that slower tempo type team, it scares the shit out of me to be laying over a touchdown. So I lean towards Utah State here. I'm trying to figure out if I think they can win the game outright. If they can, then I will be letting everybody know.
That's good, just because it makes me feel better about also leaning towards Utah State. It just seems like too many points. It just seems like it. And then next, the one that I think we've both been waiting to talk about, we have my ULL. They have changed their name so many fucking times. Me and the Viceroy that works for Barstool, we're gonna end up fighting, because he's like, you need to call it this, and it's like, bitch, I live here. I call it what I want. I know what it is.
I live here. I call it what I want.
Like it's like literally, I was like, meet me at Judy's Inn and let's square up and we'll settle it there. Which is a famous burger place here that doesn't sell French fries. It only sells chips, but it's been around since like a long time ago. So UL and Marshall wins bowl games. A little concerned as far as that goes. However, Raging Cajuns have ended their season on a high note. Napier could probably not be happier for them. They have a new coach, Desormeaux, I believe his name is.
Come on, Megan, it's French.
Yeah, Desormeaux. I was right. I wasn't worried about the pronunciation. I was just worried about if I was saying the right fucking guy.
I didn't know how to say it. I knew how to spell it. I even put it in Google Translate yesterday and listened to it like 11 times. I'm like, oh no, I don't know how to say this.
I know. There's people here. I mean, the names here are insane. Like in my son's class, there's so many people. Like and their little accents are like the cutest thing ever. Like you have to come here and just listen to these little Cajun kids. They're like the cutest thing ever. Anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and spill it. I like the Raging Cajuns. They're at 5 right now at the Barstool Sportsbook. What did you get them at, Kel?
Yeah, I haven't bet them yet. We're seeing this one keep ticking down. It's currently 5. I'm wondering if we're gonna see a 4.5. We've got time, right, Megan? The game, it doesn't kick off for a little while. What is it? Is it a Sunday game? Saturday game? It is Saturday game.
Yes. At 8:15.
Yeah, it's a late game. So
in NOLA, by the way, we're going to New Orleans. We're staying in our home state.
Yeah, look, I think this is going to be a really great game. This is where I kind of mind fucked myself, but I am going to get to the window. This is a game I'm playing. Trust me, I'm not going to give you guys a game that I'm not backing with my own money. I just think that we can get maybe a 4.5. Not that 5 is not basically a dead number. So you have a 12-1 ULL team. Opens laying 7. Gets bet down. Fine. Billy Napier takes a head coaching job at Florida. But he set out to win a Sun Belt championship with this team. And that is exactly what he did. I gave this game out 2 weeks ago, if you guys remember. This is a Marshall team, Megan, that you mentioned. They have a very good offense. If they can get this to be a higher scoring game in a shootout with ULL, I do have my concerns. But
control the clock, ground game, ULL.
Yes. The Cajuns lost 1 game this year to Texas, and that's because they allowed over 30 points in this game. This is a dead on under type scenario game. If you like the Cajuns, Marshall, 1 game they've won this year when they got held to under 30 points, just 1. So
I will say, if you're interested in the 4.5, if you move the stool, you can buy it at -117.
I love you, and Barstool doesn't want me saying this, but don't ever buy points. Thank you.
I'm just saying, if you do, you can.
No, I think we're going to see it. I think a lot of people are going to come in on Marshall here. I think Marshall is going to be that trendy dog this weekend, and it's not I understand they have a great offense, and if you look at their yards per game and balance it out, I'm going to take the better defense here. I believe that this is going to be a touchdown type game. I'm actually kind of floored to see it come down this way. Billy Napier, while he is a great head coach, I just don't see him affecting this team that much in terms of line movement.
I agree with that 100%. I think that he set this team up for future success. I think he set not just the players, but the coaching staff up for success. And I think this game is going to prove that. I think ULL is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And thank you, Napier, for helping us build this program. And we won't forget you. Louisiana will always be your home. And other than that, that's all the bowl games we're talking about today, because we got a shit ton more, but we have NFL to talk tomorrow. I will let you guys in on a little secret. Sorry, someone said I was 34 and it threw me off. Let you know a little secret. I am taking the Steelers money
Megan
line.
is not 34, by the way.
I am taking the Steelers money line this week. Win or lose, you get a beanie, $30, opt in. It's a must-win game for the Steelers, y'all. They got their backs against the wall. Titans, I know they're off of a bye, but they've played some cupcake teams as of recent. Might come out flat. Give me the Steelers. Give me Mike Tomlin. Give me the beanie. Kel, you got anything you want to pump?
No, we'll talk about the NFL tomorrow. There's a lot of really great teaser opportunities. Bengals still 2.5 at the Barstool Sportsbook. I think they're an excellent teaser spot for this week. The other ones have kind of long and gone, unfortunately, in terms of where you're going to be able to get any value. Obviously, Dolphins, Eagles, all those crazy line movements. There's a ton of COVID going on. You can do a teaser with the Patriots, which is what I did with the Rams from Monday night. But look, I'm looking at a couple of different spots here where I'm going to put my money. I'm still pissed about the Washington football team debacle that was last week. So I'm going to have a best bet for you guys tomorrow, and we're going to cash some tickets.
Absolutely. Cash some tickets, do your research. And I hope everyone has a fantastic Thursday. I am about to go make a drink. I hope everyone follows suit. Y'all have a great week, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.